Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto News. And today I have a couple of very interesting pieces of news to share with you all. As you guys have probably heard, there's a lot of crazy things happening in the crypto space right now. We've got some really big problems in the exchange sector and the DeFi sector, with a lot of companies becoming insolvent. We've had some crazy pumps with Luna Classic and UST, a couple 100%. UST is actually at like 8 cents right now. We've also had the chairman of the SEC let go of some very strange statements, and so we surely have to see what the implications of that are going to be for cryptos that we know and love like XRP. Having said that, we're also going to take a look at what the crypto market is doing, as there's a couple of statistics and analytics that I want to showcase to you guys to hopefully get a better grasp of what the action is looking like, and to hopefully get a good grasp of what we think the best choices for our portfolio are right now. Alright, so first of all, crypto market is down 5% over the last 24 hours. Bitcoin hovering right at about $20,000, minus 4.7% on the daily. Ethereum is down another 10%, hanging at around $1,111 right now. XRP is down 7%, hanging at 32 cents, and Cardano is down 4.4. The worst one in the top 10 again is Solana, which is down 12% over the last 24 hours at $34.6. In regards to price action for Bitcoin, we've actually just hit a very juicy bottom, and this is the newest pattern that I'm actually looking at right now for Bitcoin. So just to give you guys a reminder, we were actually saying, okay, the moment that the inverse head and shoulder pattern popped for us, we open up a long position, hopefully all the way towards 25,000 unless we see some rejection. We saw some rejection at our previous resistance, roughly at around 21.5 thousand. We've been seeing that resistance time and time again, and are right now back down to the bottom that we saw basically a week ago earlier. And that bottom we previously cited as one of the most important supports, and actually we cited before that the moment that this pattern right here breaks, we're going to be shorting it all the way towards 19.9 thousand, and that has now been validated. Again, to add some fuel to the fire though, I also told you guys about our most recent move. From swing high to swing low, we took the Fibonacci's on that, and we broke through major support yesterday, and right now it's looking as if we're going to get some confirmation, which is leading me to believe that we might actually go ahead and head even lower. Then again, on the short term, this is actually what I'm watching for, this triangle right here, waiting to see where it's going to break out towards, but this is looking like the upside is most likely. Also, just looking at support and resistances once more. Again, I told you guys, the moment that we break through 20,000 to get some confirmation, I want to open up a short all the way towards 19.1, but it's looking as if it's going to take a bounce and maybe actually reverse and come right back up to 21.5K. Now guys, I can't stress this enough. If you're looking for a crypto platform to trade on, make sure you check out BuyBit. A link is down below. It's the platform I almost always use for all my trades. And right now there's an $8 million competition, but you also get $4,500 worth of bonuses just for signing up. And if you're looking where you can find those, go to this little button over on the top left and then go ahead and go to rewards up, and you'll see exactly what you need to do to get what, because there's multiple different rewards that you can get. But I can guarantee you that by using the link down below, you get the highest amount of bonuses possible. All right, one more thing before we move over into our actual news for the day is this right here. So let me show you guys. This is the adjusted SOPR for Bitcoin, and what this basically showcases is how many people are realizing their loss or their profit, but mostly loss for Bitcoin. And what it showcases right here is that we have a downward sloping trend, right? You can all see that. The moment that is below 1, people are basically selling their losses, which is not that good. And the moment that you see this decrease as time moves on, it basically means more and more people are starting to sell at a worse spot. And that is usually a really bullish sign, because the moment that it turns around, people are going to start cashing out better and better profits. And that again ultimately has to mean that either they bought cheaper and then sold higher, which ultimately leads that the price is going up from at least some point, right? So an uptrend is what you like to see. You can also see it just from, I guess, March 2020 up to, I guess, later on, like December of 2020. So for the entire year of 2020, you can see it was an upward sloping line, which goes together with the Bitcoin price going up as more and more people are cashing out a profit. And then from, let's say, for example, here, October 2021 on forward, you can see that the price was in a sloping downwards line, and so is the adjusted SOPR, as people are more so cashing out their losses. And apparently at some point, not apparently, logically, there's going to be some inflection point, but let us dive right into the news. So there's a couple interesting pieces. First of all, FTX CEO Sam Bankman-Fried warns that some crypto exchanges are insolvent already, and more will follow. This is a very big warning for everybody in the crypto space right now. There's a couple of exchanges that I trust mostly, and that is Binance, BuyBit, and I think that's about it. The reason for that is because I've worked with them for so many years. I know them personally so well. And even though that doesn't mean too much, I know their financial situation is extremely good. Then again, don't trust my words on that. I'm just saying those are the only two exchanges that I personally have a good chunk of money on. I took everything out from Coinbase and I took everything out from most other exchanges that I can remember. And I put it onto my ledgers. He says, however, I guess FTX is also one of those that's pretty well set up, but I don't use that personally. FTX, through Alameda Research, their VC, provided BlockFi and Voyager Digital with a $750 million credit line after Three Arrows Capital defaulted in payments. Bankman-Fried names one asset that will survive the crypto winter. All he's trying to say is that the smaller crypto exchanges are already seeing a ton of trouble. But the medium-sized crypto exchanges might soon also come into trouble. And I think a lot of that is based upon the whole Luna situation. They were lending out money to, for example, VCs that were lending out money onto, for example, Terra. And since it's kind of a deck of cards, it's also so in the banking realm, but with crypto, it went a little bit quicker because the players didn't all get bailed out. Well, I guess Alameda is doing a little bit of bailing out. If they didn't, this would have been an even more catastrophic fall. He's however said one interesting thing, that the FUD regarding Tether is actually baseless. And there's something to be said about that, you know? As I said before, I'm not really a big fan of USDT, mostly because of the commercial papers over in China that I've heard about. But again, I can't confirm that. If it's honest truth that they don't have commercial paper in China, it's actually backed one-to-one. Again, I can't confirm, but if that's the truth, then yeah, what are we afraid of with USDT? Except for the fact that, for example, the CTO also said that there's some really big action against them and whales are trying to take them down. And that's never a really nice thing. USDC is even more properly backed though whenever I think about it. So that's why I'm choosing USDC over USDT, but I mostly have both. I just have more USDC than USDT. And again, the message right here is be warned. Take your money off exchanges, put it into somewhere where you can have full control over it. As you guys all know, recite it with me, all right? Not your keys, not your coins. That's the most important thing in crypto by far. Not your keys, not your coins. And that basically means if it's onto an exchange, they can decide what to do with your coins, not you. A good example of that is with an airdrop. They receive the airdrop, you can't do anything about it. If they decide to not give it to you, good luck getting it. And if they ever go bankrupt, your assets are in their platform. So there's a good chance that that might go to the one that it belongs to most. And funny enough, that might not be you. Coinbase has said that before. They're not in a situation where they're likely to go bankrupt, but the moment that they do, your assets are taken up. That is different, however, if you use a specific wallet of theirs where you have control over your own keys. This is just if you use the exchange feature and let your money into the exchange wallet, basically. That's different than keeping it onto a wallet that is built by the exchange, for example. All right, regarding Coinbase, right? Shiba Inu is one of the few coins on Coinbase that actually is still in profit. And this leads me to believe one thing. A lot of freaking funds are in trouble. All right. Again, a lot of it is based upon the whole Luna situation, the Luna crash, but a lot of funds that have invested into things are in crazy amounts of losses. And that yet again, things might only get a lot more worse if the crypto market doesn't turn around like crazy rather soon. You might see the irony in one of the most shitty coins, Shiba Inu, even though I hold it and I'm kind of a lover of it because of the memes. I like that. But it's still kind of a shitty coin being in the most amount of profit, or at least one of the only ones that's still in profit. It's kind of ironical because we often say in dangerous times, buy the most fundamentally set coins, and Shiba Inu definitely is one of those. But oh boy, does this look sad. If you look at the performance of most cryptos right here, it is crazy sad. And one of the only ones that's doing good is, I guess it's Kronos, maybe Crow? Gala, maybe? But apparently ICP, Internet Computer, is down 98%. Damn. All right, moving on to that Luna story that I just talked to you guys about, right? We're going to go into XRP, by the way, as well. I have a little bit on that. Luna Classic and USDC showed double-digit growth amid crypto market drop. What's wrong with them? Another article that I've read was saying this: over $530 million inflows Terra Classic in 4 days. What's behind this curtain? So at first I thought it might be Wall Street bets, and even as of this point, I don't honestly know. A lot of people have said that it's going to be because of Anonymous and their plans to basically get all the secret out there. A lot of others are saying that Do Kwon is actually still working on it to make it better. A lot of others are saying that there were a couple of whales in that basically pushed the price down more than it should have gone down because of the supply and demand. And then they're trying to buy back up now to basically manipulate the price because people will get excited again and get a little... just manipulation, basically. Here's what Sumo said. A hypothetical whale play from a month ago: buy 8 to 10 billion USD for a penny, buy 50% of Luna Classic at 0. whatever for $200 million, burn the UST, turn the UST to Luna swap back on, UST repegs, and off we go. It didn't happen, but it's an interesting thought. There were a lot of people before that said UST might actually peg back. And fun fact, I didn't actually sell my UST, so right now, I guess I made a good fortune in the last couple of days because I thought it was lost. However, I'm not really keen on selling too much of it just quite yet. Because as I said before, I think even selling it for 1/10 of what it was worth is kind of like, to me. I'd rather just wait until it's either worth 30% or nothing. I know it's kind of greedy, but it's also just the predicament I'm in, where I'm like, well, there's a good chance that eventually some meme is going to go around where my USDC actually comes back up to like 30 cents, 40 cents maybe, if some crazy happens. But even if it doesn't, I've already like written off all the money that it's lost me. So I'm not really too bothered by me not being able to cash out anything. I cashed out about, I guess I cash out 2% every day of my UST. Well, I just did 2% yesterday and 2% today, and I might cash out 2% again tomorrow. Wow, right? To get some profits, but generally speaking, I'm too scared to do the majority of it. Moving on, there was this very interesting statement that the SEC made earlier. If you guys remember, Gary Gensler basically said this: some like Bitcoin, and that's the only one I'm going to say. My predecessors and others have said they are a commodity. The rest of the crypto, he added, should be classified as securities and regulated by the SEC. Quote, many of these financial assets, crypto financial assets, have the key attributes of a security. The investing public is hoping for a return, just like when they invest in other financial assets we call securities. And a couple of things are fun about that. One is that Bitcoin is being bought for the exact same purpose, but there's nobody to sue. But John Deaton said, that's not what he said, which is referring to Bitcoin Magazine, whom said, SEC Chair Gensler said Bitcoin is the only crypto that is a commodity. John says that's not what he said. He said Bitcoin is the only one he is willing to say outright isn't a security. But he's absolutely wrong. A court decides what is or isn't a security, not a career bureaucratic hack. And what he means right here, what John Dean means, is that the court will ultimately decide what a security is and what's not. He can try to grab for power as much as he wants. He can try to bolster his career as much as he wants by taking it all under them. But it doesn't mean too much. Because if you guys remember, if you're going to say Bitcoin, for example, is fine, you got to base this on one set of rules that is distributable over, I guess, every single crypto out there. Or at least it has to be some consistency, because let's say we point out 6 different categories or 6 different points that make up as to why Bitcoin is not a security. Well, then if we go over those 6 exact same points, another crypto, and they follow the exact same set of points, so to speak, exact same set of rules, if they come to the same conclusion on both of them, they should both have the same sort of, I guess, name. They both should basically be a commodity at that point. But if you're just picking and choosing and saying, that one commodity, that one security, why? I don't know, I just thought about it that way. That doesn't make a lot of sense. And he's willing to say, Bitcoin, that's fine. The rest we are saying it's a security, at point blank. It doesn't really make a lot of sense, mostly because it's now going also against Ethereum, or he's not willing to say that that one is also fine, which is kind of contrary to what some of the SEC members have said before. But I guess all I want to say about that situation is I honestly think if the judges take a good look at a lot of these cryptos, they'll come out to be non-securities, like, for example, XRP. And the moment that happens, I think XRP is going to be the first one to get the proper regulatory clarity. And I think it's going to be an easy, still like 30x or so, maybe 50x. I just said before, when it was, I think 17 cents or so, that I think is going to be a 100x opportunity. That means $17 eventually. And I still agree with that point. I'm not exactly sure how long it's going to take. Right now it's 30 cents though, so it's about double. So I can easily call out for a 50x. But if you were to go to $10, that's like 33x from this point. Still pretty reasonable, guys. But let me know down below, what is your XRP price prediction if we get this settlement? And again, I base it upon the fact that Gary Gensler is not deciding to say it or not daring to say it, but it doesn't really matter. It's going to get the justice, all right? It might take a year, it might take 6 months, it might take 7 months, but it's going to get some decision from the court. And from that point on forward, he can try some stuff. But as of this point, his words mean nothing. I personally think XRP is going to get the proper regulatory clarity, be deemed not a security, big middle finger to the SEC, and we're all going to rejoice. I, however, am just a tiny observer in this big scheme. We'll have to see what comes out of the lawsuit, but I'm pretty damn excited about it. That was it for today's video, guys. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you press that like button as it helps out a ton. And I'll see you guys again in another one later today.